my live stream. We're gonna talk about WWE Smackdown tonight, and we will talk about the news and rumors for AEW. We will go through the predictions of Saturday Night Main Event. Um, I just want to say, welcome back to my channel. Hit that like button, leave a comment, please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments section you guys want to see more. My video has been sponsored by my favorite YouTubers like Solomon, Fightful, JD from New York, The Post Wrestling, Just Alex, the Argument with Commentary, uh, and Wrestling Inc., Lisa Hill, and other favorite podcasters that I know of. Um, make you guys enjoy this video. I'll make this like an hour. Now we will talk about Saturday night main event. We're gonna go through the preview and predictions right now, and then we'll talk about what happened on SmackDown tonight, and then we'll talk about the news and rumors in the wrestling community, what's going on in AEW with Tony Khan, and then I'll show y'all the other podcasters. Now, SmackDown was a decent show. It was alright, nothing spectacular. Only thing that mattered was the tournament match for the Women's United States Championship. This is the first mid card for the women's division. Now, Michin, she qualified. Michin advances. He beat who did he beat? She beat Tiffany Stratton. And then Bailey, she lost to Chelsea Green. So gonna be Michin and Chelsea Green at the pay-per-view tomorrow night. Whoever wins will become the first Women United States Championship. Obviously, Chelsea Green gonna win it. I think it will fit a heel, so Chelsea Green gonna win it. This had been Chelsea Green title from the get go. I think most fans predicted this, and a lot of fans know, okay, Chelsea gonna win it. Meach and Henry done much on SmackDown. I don't think gonna work with a babyface. But Chelsea is very beloved, and she's liked by the crowd. She had a great character. She's very good in the ring. She's okay on the mic. She had Piper Niven. I think she's gonna win it. I think this is her title to take. So Chelsea Green gonna win it. As for the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship, Damian Priest, Gunther, and Finn Balor. Obviously, Gunther gonna retain. This will be a great match. I think Gunther will retain. He might pin Finn Balor. Um, Finn Balor won half of the tag team champions. Hopefully, he loses those belts on Monday to the War Raiders. Because those titles have been irrelevant. They've been devalued. Balor's not having a good title win. Him and JD McDonough haven't even defended the belt. So I'm pretty sure that Gunther gonna retain. The build-up had been about Priest and Balor. Finn Balor screwed Damian Priest at SummerSlam. He screwed him at Survivor Series. He attacked him back days after the pay-per-view. Gunther been like an afterthought. It hasn't been about Gunther. It's been about Priest and Balor. Hopefully they finish off that feud and they end it. Now Gunther been having a pretty good title reign. I enjoyed it in work with a couple of superstars like Priest, Orton, Sammy, Randy Orton, and Sami Zayn. And he did wrestle Balor a few months ago on Raw. That was pretty good. Hopefully we go back to the single one at Balor. They could be teasing something where Balor might be in booth from Judgment Day. We'll have to wait. We'll see what happens. But anyway, Gunther gonna win. Now here's the third match. Liv Morgan defending the Women's World Championship against Io Sky. Now this is a filler feud. It just there to give Liv Morgan something to do until we get back to her and Rhea. So Liv Morgan gonna retain. Obviously, she might win with the help of Raquel, but she's gonna retain. I did like that they teed a possible Rhea and Io Sky match, but we know it's not gonna happen. Not now, at least. It was just a teaser. I mean, Io Sky won the Faith Liv Morgan because he won a Battle Royal last month. It was like after Crown Jewels, where she won a Battle Royal and was gifted the right to Faith Liv for the title. So obviously, it's just there. I mean, the build-up is still about Rhea and Liv. Was it waiting to when that feud can be paid off, and when that feud gonna end? So Liv gonna obviously retain here. Should be a good match. Io Sky great. I would actually like it if they surprise us and have Io Sky win. Have maybe for rating or for shock value, Io Sky phenomenal. I think we I think we see enough of Liv Morgan as champion. I think it ran its course. The storyline with her and Rhea and Dominic had ran its course. Liv Morgan's not going into WrestleMania champion. I hope not. She's not a champion WrestleMania caliber. I think she'll lose it if it's not this month, maybe next month. But obviously, I think Liv's going to retain. I wouldn't mind. I would like if Io Sky won it, but I think Liv's going to retain. Oh wait, hold on. Oh wait, hold on. Now this is the fourth match. Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. This match was made official on Monday. Drew McIntyre just came back after that classic Hell in a Cell match with CM Punk. He came back. He attacked Sammy. He attacked Jay. I don't know why. Why this match here? It's just a filler feud. I'm not really interested in seeing the two feud again because we saw this earlier this year, like back in January. It's just a filler feud until they figure out what to do with Drew McIntyre. What you gotta do with Sammy now? Is Drew McIntyre going after the bloodline? He still can he still cannot get over the fact that the bloodline cost the masses. They screwed him at Clash in the Castle 2 years ago against Roman Reigns. Is that why? Pretty sure Drew McIntyre gonna win, obviously. You know, it's his first match back since Hell in a Cell. So obviously Drew's gonna win. He'll beat Sammy, and then we'll see what happens there. Should be okay, man. The main event, Cody Rhodes defending the W Championship against Kevin Owens. I'm surprised there was no stipulation. Um, there was no like stipulation, like no hold barred or no DQ or Falcon anywhere, just a match. The first match was very good. The second match, I was hoping they have a stipulation, maybe add some states. I don't know. But the build up happened good. The feud happened great. The promo back and forth, the brawl that they had happened awesome. I would love it if Kevin Owens would win. A lot of people think, will Kevin Owens win it? Will he become world champion for the first time after 8 years? I don't think he will. I think Cody Rhodes is going to win it. If Kevin Owens wins it, he can hold it for a few weeks, maybe a month, and then give it back to Cody Rhodes. But I don't think. I think Cody Rhodes will retain. I think he will beat Kevin Owens here. And then we'll see where Cody will go into next year. What feud? Who's he going to feud with next? Um, it should be a very good match here. Now I might go to show y'all oh wait, hold on. Hey, what the hell? With using not just me, but all of his strengths to help finish his stupid, pathetic little story at WrestleMania. But then he's okay with spitting all our faces like Stephen Roman Reigns and bad blood. Huh? And Cody, you know what? Once Michael asked that question, why don't you take a chance to do something that I bet you were physically unable to do? And that is be honest. Tell the truth. Don't lie. And tell Michael that that's because you're as bad a friend as you are a son and brother. Oh. Well, and Cody, you know what? There's something I needed to tell you. It's that no matter how long you're champion for, no matter how many main events you're in, the truth will always be you were way more interesting as Stardust. Oh wow. Obviously, Kevin knows the assignment. I'm sure Kevin has a lot more zingers up his sleeve. You know what? You know what?
Why wait for him to do more of those from wherever he's at? Maybe I'll just go get Kevin Owens right now. Seems as though Cody Rhodes has heard about it.
So Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, they thought brawling. They brawled outside. They brawled. Now they're brawling in the ring. They brawled crazy. They hit him with the title. It was a great brawl and a great way to end the show. Kevin Owens looked strong. He was the one left in. He hit Cody with the title. We do got AEW Rampage, but I'm not gonna watch that, even though that the show's live. All right, hold on. Now let's talk about SmackDown. The rest of SmackDown here. All right. Now before I go into my podcasters and the YouTubers that are gonna be talking about this, now this is what we saw on SmackDown tonight. Saturday night main event. Saturday night main event this Saturday, live nationwide. Now that was NXT. That was a few days ago. I don't watch that much of NXT. I do, but I don't really do reviews really. Alright, so this is SmackDown. Show opened up with with Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso, he had a broken toe. He came out in crutches. Talked about war games. He talked about he usually talked about the usual. And then he got tapped with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre unleashed a vicious attack on Jimmy Uso. I don't know why. This is completely random. Why did Drew McIntyre go after the bloodline? He attacked Sammy, he attacked Jay, and now he's attacking Jimmy. Unless if Drew McIntyre, is he gonna get traded? Is he gonna go to SmackDown and do what? I don't know if I'm interested in seeing him feud with the bloodline again, but I wouldn't mind if he feud with Cody Rhodes or something. So yeah, so like McIntyre attacked him. Him showing about SmackDown was completely random. Now we did. Now we know that Roman Reigns wasn't on the show, but we got a great vignette here with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Roman Reigns won Solo Sikoa in Tribal Combat on the debut of Netflix. So it looks like it's been announced. I think we will get Roman and Solo on January 6th on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. I think we will get it. Now Monday Night Raw will be 3 hours on that show, so I think it makes sense. It's happening to be a big show. Something had to happen in that man. Now I was hoping we get it on Saturday Night Main Event, but I guess not. Get the one that was it. Get that they're gonna wait. It will be on the debut of Netflix on January 6th. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for that. Now here's Meat Chance. He's done Tiffany Stratton to advance in the title tournament. Carmelo Hayes had a mystery opponent tonight. Turns out it was Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman returned in like a month. He destroyed Carmelo Hayes. He beat him. Braun Strowman had been on TV for like a couple of weeks now. I think a month. When's the last time he was on TV? I can't remember. Maybe a month or two. Is Braun gonna be on SmackDown? Or just a one-off? Did we need to feed Camelo Hayes to Braun Strowman? I don't know. We got LA Knight go to war with Solo Sikoa after he was attacked last week. The match ended in a no contest. Bloodline got involved, beat him up. They also beat up Apollo and Andrade. I think it was no, it wasn't Santos. It was Andrade and Apollo Crew. They got attacked. The Bloodline sent a message by assaulting LA Knight. There's Chelsea Green who advances to the final by beating Bailey. And like I said, the main event segment, Kevin Owens annihilated Cody Rhodes in a very chaotic brawl here. Hits him with the title. Man, the race up this match. Will Kevin Owens win? Now, these are the news and rumors. Cody Rhodes. It's possible that Cody could be getting the win eagle. Triple H had confirmed it. They said at tomorrow night on the pay per view on Sunday Night Main Event, Triple H might give Cody Rhodes something. We may see Cody will bring back a classic title, the Wing Eagle. They said that Logan Paul gonna officially retire from pro wrestling because him and his wife just had their first child. AEW roster has had enough. Hold on. Hold on.
It is only Thursday, but the best of the week is still yet.
Cody Rhodes has been granted access to the iconic WWE Wing Eagle World Championship, including plans, outcome for WWE Women's United States Championship. A major return is happening. We know that Jesse Ventura is going to be the ring announcer, I think, for this pay-per-view, or commentator, I think, for the pay-per-view. Major return is happening, and who WWE managed to put into one WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Logan Paul said he had retired from WWE. This is AEW.
Man, oh man, it has been one wild ride.
AEW walked through reportedly in Paul with Tony Khan created. TNA signed Tessa. This is AEW reportedly in Paul by the latest Tony Khan created wrestling, and fans are slowly starting to understand the Vince McMahon comparison. And Tan is actually bringing back Tessa Bradford, and with plan to make her the TNA Women's Knockout Champion, and why.
I'm even proud of.
Who will stop the bloodline? Now let's see what Denise and Robin have to say about this show. This will take a while, so just give me a second so I can see what they're gonna talk about on Smackdown. All right.
Okay. I was about to say something. Get after each other and go after each other and all that. Already, and last week, so like it's not a new thing. We're now on the eve of the actual confrontation in the showdown. So what else is there left? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get into the super chats here, and then we'll go ahead and break in down everything else that went down on the show. We got Luis Arturo Mendez. What's up, Luis? He says, my money is on Chelsea to win tomorrow. Well, Luis, I got to tell you, I think your money is in the right place. Thank you so much for the super chat. We got Chelsea amount of time, which Robin, I'm cool with. I love this. More of this. I'm good with this. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't. How could you be mad about it? And that's again.
But apparently it's not going to get here till December 18th, and I ordered it like 2 months ago, and I'm annoyed. And then they did the segment afterwards with Cody and KO.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was the pacing of that. And I guess I didn't think about it because with the Cody KO stuff, I don't know, I guess I considered that the main event. So does it still count? I mean, it was the last match of the night, but it wasn't in the the final portion.
WWE.
I can't even think.
Covering it every day, but my
Is the top purpose though? That was on purpose.
yeah.
Right comes in and she starts talking to Naya about how so you know obviously she looks the way she looks, but
That's kind of what I'm.
told me that, and I'm looking at him.
Did do that. That might be foreshadowing.
Tomorrow. Did you notice that, Robin?
I did not notice that, but if they did do that, that might be foreshadowing. Because here's one thing I almost guarantee: The Rock's going to be on that first match.
Oh, when that if he's not, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and
Why
that's only a few weeks. So either he's showing up there as the big surprise, or they're paying off something there. And I don't buy this bullshit that's been online. Like I saw the last couple days, like, oh yeah, they just had The Rock come out for an appearance at the like. I don't see why he would come out. What was that? What pay per view? What PLE was that?
Bad blood.
Bad blood. I don't buy that he would just come out, and I don't even know. I'm sure whoever reported it was reputable, but I just don't buy it from wherever, like, just from a common sense standpoint, where he would come out and say nothing. Because if he was just coming out for an appearance because he was in town, he would do his shit. He would come out and play with the crowd. He wouldn't come out and say zero to continue to build the speculation. That is to lead up to something. And Netflix on Raw and Netflix makes a lot of sense for that. We've seen him in the promos for that. Obviously, we know where he is on the board. We know the importance of the Netflix deal in the grand scheme of things for WWE. So,
I hope too, man.
oh no, it's happening. So the question is whether it's happening there or it could be a continuation. And Saturday night's main event, you forget this is on NBC, is it not? It's not even just on Peacock. It's on broadcast television. So this is a big deal for them to make sure they satisfy that as well. So it makes logical sense for him to come out at Saturday night's main event and then his next appearance Netflix. Because those are it's close enough together where you can build one together.
Oh yeah, no, I'm glad that you pointed that out because, like, in my mind, because I know I'm gonna watch on the Peacock, and in my mind it's on the Peacock, so I haven't even like thought about the whole NBC aspect of it, even though that was mentioned in the press release when they first announced it and all of that. But you make some solid points, man. You really, really do. I feel like that's probably that's definitely why they are stacking up the show the way that they are. So yeah, you're onto something there. Thank you so much, Anthony. We got Terrence Johnson who says, "Are you watching this month?" I much. I always love when this happens.
Including like really long, like 15-minute promos on his IP.
Right, exactly. He always does that too. The really, really long promos. I think there was one that was like, God, I felt like it was 20 minutes. So it was right at the time when he came back to the company. And I know this because I had to listen to the entire thing and pick out all the news bits from it. So yeah. Infamous Raider Local says, damn, The Rock having solo win on Netflix. So let's get to that. We are going to have, well, at least Roman Reigns has officially challenged Solo Sikoa to a match on Netflix. It has not yet been accepted, so but it's going to be, guys. We know how it is. When the challenge is put out there, the match is going to inevitably happen. Dang, and this was kind of cool too, Robin, because this was in a vignette video by Roman Reigns, and he was basically talking about how after WrestleMania, he lost everything, right? He lost his bloodline, Paul Heyman, his Hula Fala, and now He wants that back, and when he gets that back, he is going to be acknowledged once again. And of course, challenges Solo Sikoa. So, what did you think of the promo, the vignettes, the challenge, and do you think The Rock comes out to help out Solo on Netflix?
That seems like the obvious conclusion. I think at this point that's the tie-in. If the Rock is going to be there, it's either going to be Solo Roman related or Cody Rhodes related, or both at the same time somehow. I kind of think personally that Cody and Rock might be hotter than Rock and Roman right now, just because
For me, it's still Rock Roman.
it is.
Yeah.
Even with the way because if you remember when Rock left, his last promo was on the Raw after Mania, straight across from Cody, and he said he was coming back for him. So I don't know. Logic tells me Cody Rhodes is actually the Rock's target. We'll see. And if some of the rumblings are true that Seth and Punk could be on the first Netflix Raw, which is another thing that's been reported on the interwebs. I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but let's just live in the universe where that's true. That does open up the possibility of Roman and Punk at WrestleMania, which we've talked about. I kind of prefer the idea of holding it to some extent, but that might just be because I live near MetLife Stadium in some sense.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. By the way, freaking Los Angeles is getting a bunch of shows at the top of the year. Stop. Haley Men Taylor having about 2 billion.
I mean, it makes. I mean, you want wrestle Rock Cody one night, Punk Roman the other night, whatever night doesn't matter. That's I
Wait,
think
you're saying, say that again?
Punk and Roman one night, Rock and Cody the other night.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I could see that.
That's the biggest. I think it's the biggest possible WrestleMania.
Yeah. Holy shit, man. And it's so funny because I always forget it's like the 2 night thing
Yeah.
for WrestleMania, but you're right, that could be a possibility, and that would be absolutely insane. However, the only thing going up against that, though, is that The Rock is looking like he's not going to be at WrestleMania. This is what creative is being told right now, that Rock's not scheduled to be there as a wrestler.
But The Rock pulled that out online.
I know that's what everybody's saying, but that's what's been put out there. Like creative is not planning anything as of right now for The Rock.
Then why are we talking about The Rock being on Saturday Night's Main Event in the first Raw on Netflix?
Maybe he'll be on Raw's Netflix. I have no idea. I mean, with The Rock,
You're using him in all the promo for it. Like, I don't think you can. I don't think it's good faith to directly use him in all the reports, or am I?
So Roman Reigns, that they were going to take away Cody Rhodes' WrestleMania match. Think about that. Like, that's the way The Rock works. He came in and was going to take this man's match after he won the Royal Rumble and all of these months and months and months of storyline. And if it wasn't for the fans and the outrage from that, we would have probably seen Cody Rhodes get screwed out of his match. So that goes to show me that The Rock could literally, in a month before WrestleMania, could literally say, hey, I want to wrestle on the show, and then it could happen. But as of right now, it's apparently not happening, which is why I do believe that based off of, history.
But basing it off that history, extending that logic, that means we can't believe it because he could change on a whim at any time. So,
Right, but we can believe that that's the truth right now, though. But will it change down in the future? It could.
or I could say, I don't know.
But as of right now, he's not supposed to be at WrestleMania.
If I had to put money on it, he could.
I hope he's at WrestleMania. I feel like it all would make sense for him to be at WrestleMania. But as of right now, there's no plan for him at WrestleMania.
I'm just telling you, whether I hope if I had to put him, if we were making a wager.
Carmelo Hayes versus his mystery opponent, that was Braun Strowman. So Braun Strowman's back. He was gone for a bit, and he's here. And how do I say this? I'm worried about Carmelo Hayes on this show. Also, by the way, Braun Strowman is now officially a Smackdown superstar based off of the talent transfer window. But I'm sort of worried for Carmelo Hayes' future, just based off what we're seeing. He could wash like a bug out there. They fed Carmelo Hayes your first round draft pick to Braun Strowman, the guy that was having some of the best matches on NXT, former multi-time NXT champion, former NXT North American champion. All of these accolades just fed to Braun Strowman in a very, very quick fashion. Robin, were you as surprised to see this, and are you at all concerned about what they're doing with Carmelo?
I mean, I don't think what they've done so far with Carmelo is to measure it where he was drafted. So I agree with you there. I'm not so worried about this specific instance versus that because to me it's been months
And
long.
Camille really
Not
like been
just
looting
tonight.
every week,
I don't
so
feel really
the
differently
more you
about
keep
him
looting every
today
week,
than
that
I
guy's
did
not getting no
last week
time
because of
message.
the
Ain't
past.
off again.
But to your
No,
point,
this is another
it's
man.
just,
He's
I
not
was
even in.
watching SmackDown with
Camille
all
ain't
three
done
of my
the whole
kids, right?
program yet.
And my
He's
daughter
not going to
Ronnie,
time to keep looting
she
every
was
week.
watching,
Hey, he's doing
intently
house
watching
shows.
that, and she's like, "Oh, Braun Strowman's back," and then she says, "Understand it, you know, like, a mid quarter or even borderline."
Think that he hasn't been terrible either because let's not forget all of those really great matches that he had with Andrade. And remember how many times they ran that back? I mean, they did that, what, 7 times? So I can't even sit here and say it hasn't been unimpressive because those matches were impressive enough to happen so many times. But in terms of everything else that it takes to get over as a WWE superstar, that hasn't happened yet for Carmelo. And I really do think Carmelo has all of the talents in the world to get there and to eventually be, him, that guy. But right now, this kind of worried me a little bit. Just seeing them feed him to Braun Strowman, it did kind of put a little bit of a dark cloud over my expectations of Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown.
I get it. No, look, trust me, I understand it. I understand it. I just, to me, like I was, what that is for me.
Thinking about that today because I put out a new video, which you guys can check out. As you guys know, I'm posting daily videos here this entire month on the channel. With watching this match, there was one match in particular that I was watching, and it was Lullaby, Lyra, and Roxanne. And
Natural elevation, they're getting
Punk versus Reigns versus Rollins. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of weird to say, like, of course we want Rock to be there at WrestleMania because he is The Rock. But at the exact same time, it's not like we're left with scraps. Like, we got a lot of really great options from money making WrestleMania matches.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I mean, they didn't need The Rock last year either. Need is the wrong word, right? Like, you don't need use. Yeah, you're never gonna turn down The Rock. The Rock is the biggest superstar in the history of the business. Nonetheless, at that time,
this guy to Braun Strowman type attitude, right? Like, I don't want that for Carmelo Hayes. He's got so much potential, man. D Martin Fifth, thank you so much for the super chat. Picks there, Bailey. I'll probably shuffle some around. I think it's a possibility of seeing. I would probably, based off of how I feel right now, what we're seeing, I would say Gunther, Punk, actually, Cody, and Cena, and then Roman, Seth Rollins is where I would kind of shuffle things around right now. Right now, but who knows? What about you, Robin? Would love it if it's Charlotte, but here's another thing. We do have actually we gotta get into that right now because we did have Nick Aldis basically tell Bianca Belair, like, hey, you're gonna have to relinquish the title. And obviously Bianca is a fighting champion, she doesn't want to relinquish the title. And so Naomi basically says, hey man, like, I'll fill in for Bianca, I will do this. And so Nick, it feels like to me they could tell the story of, I don't want to say like, yeah, like jealousy. Like she was jealous that she's match. And so we didn't know if he was going to come out to his Bad Apple song or if he big debuts that we got was it Jade Cargill? Was she the last one? And that was, obviously she didn't come from NXT, she came from AEW.
he still feels new. I guess Robert. Hey, you down with OPP? Yeah, you.
Very cool, but I'm here for that. I'm actually really, really here for Charlotte versus Tiffany. I think that's
Called her father to pick her up afterward.
I enjoy LA Knights, but Yeah. Ever since, oh my God, the voice of God.
Speaking of interference and run-ins.
You know what? We've had a pretty good clean SmackDown, and we had to run it.
There we
We
go.
just had
There
to
we
run
go.
it.
I just want to say, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you please go ahead. You're in here.
I'm very happy about Misha and Chelsea, despite
As are we.
The table here. All hands on deck, including Roman Reigns. So that is a big match for that show. And as far as what's going to happen, I look at it one of two ways. And a few weeks ago, I said, well, as far as Solo and where things are going to go with Solo Sikoa, if I had the pen, you have Roman against Solo. Roman beats Solo. Solo does what he said many, many months ago, what he told the Tongans before Jacob Fatu even came in. What he told the Tongans he would do. If Roman can beat me, he's the tribal chief. I'll acknowledge it. I will hand over the uniform. So he does that. And that's what gets him kicked out of the club. It's like when Hulk Hogan lost to The Rock at WrestleMania 18. What happened when the match was over? Scott Hall and Kevin Nash got in the ring and they kicked his ass. They kicked him out of the NWO. They just debuted a month before. They kicked him out of the NWO because he lost one match. Solo's lost a hell of a lot more than just one match. He lost War Games. If he loses this match, there has to be consequences. How could there not be? How could there not be consequences if he loses again? So that's one potential outcome. If it goes the other way and Solo's going to win this match, I think it'll be with the assist from Drew McIntyre. It just seems to me like that is where we're headed. If you just look at the people that McIntyre has attacked so far, I think Roman will end up being the final person that he takes his revenge on. And it could be on that night in that match. That's how Solo gets to hang on to the necklace. So it's just a matter of pick your poison. Who do you think is going over? Do you think Roman's winning or do you think Solo's winning? And I don't know which way they're going to go with it. I kind of feel like it's going to be McIntyre costing Roman so they can drag this thing out with Roman and Solo, even though I really don't want them to. But it kind of feels like that may be where we're headed here. But either way, something big's going down there. I'm glad they're doing it then. I just hope it's the only time and we're not setting up for a WrestleMania match. I just have no appetite for it. I really don't. I have no interest in seeing Roman and Solo dragged out until WrestleMania 41. All the potential Roman Reigns matches, even though this one may be the most story-rich as far as the history with these guys over the last few years, Roman, Solo. Now, I'm not saying there's no history there. That does not scream WrestleMania. I would rather see Roman against Drew McIntyre on the WrestleMania stage. Roman and McIntyre, Roman and Punk, Roman and Jacob. Like, any of those matches appeals to me more than Roman and Solo on that show. That's the one thing I know I don't want to see. Now, they also advertised a Netflix kickoff event next Wednesday at WWE headquarters. Talent will be there. Some of the big names they mentioned, Cody, Punk, Seth. But also fans are invited. But very interesting that in the promotion of the talent that will be there and in the graphics on the screen, Logan Paul was there. They're advertising Logan Paul for this. And I just laughed because, and I didn't say a word about this on Twitter because I didn't think it was news, because I didn't think people actually believed it. But evidently people thought Logan Paul was retired because on his podcast this week, he made a comment and said, "Oh, I'm a dad now," because he and his wife had a baby a few months ago. And he goes, "I'm a dad now. I'm retired. Like, I'm done." And this hit the news sites, and people were talking about it like, "Oh my God, bro, he's retired." That came out of nowhere. And I go, "Yeah, no shit, because he's not retired." But I guess people took it as gospel. And then it didn't even last a week, and they're already advertising him for the Netflix event next week. And probably he'll be on that first Netflix show on January 6th. So I just can't take what this guy says seriously. Can't do it. Backstage, Legado del Fantasma complains to Nick Aldis about their treatment.
Alright, now let's go back to see what he said earlier in the video.
Warranted in this situation. It would not rank very high in the history of segments when we've seen tons of show closing brawls like this. This one was not particularly great, but it got the job done. And you had Kevin Owens standing tall, Cody Rhodes down on his back, looking up at the lights, hit in the head with the WWE Championship. Not the same WWE Championship that he hopefully will be walking out to the ring with tomorrow night. But they've done all they can do now to get you excited for tomorrow's match. Do they have the balls? Do they have the balls to take the championship off the Golden Boy and put it on Kevin Owens? That is the question. Everybody's got their own theories and their own thoughts about what may or may not go down tomorrow night. One of the things that we are going to do a little bit later, I will go through my final predictions for Saturday night's main event, so we'll talk more about that. We got a big announcement tonight, and it actually has nothing to do with Saturday night's main event. We don't have another PLE until the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble is not until February 1st. So Saturday night's main event is effectively the PLE for December. For January, there's another Saturday night's main event. That's actually a week before the Rumble, but the big show in January, it's not on pay-per-view, it's not on Peacock, it's on Netflix. It's the Raw debut on January 6th. They're doing everything in their power to get that show pumped up to where you look at this thing as one of the biggest events of the year. It's all hands on deck. Stars from Raw, stars from Smackdown, stars that maybe we don't see on TV right now who might make their return. It might make a special appearance on that show. John Cena, for example, is being advertised for that show. And you know it's a special show when Roman Reigns is climbing into the ring for it. Now, when was the last time we saw Roman Reigns in a match on a Monday night, right? Probably not until sometime before WrestleMania this year. And that may have been the only time this year. It doesn't happen very often, but it's going to happen on January 6th because we got the announcement that it will be Roman Reigns one-on-one with Solo Sikoa, Tribal Chief versus Tribal Chief, and it will be Tribal Combat. The only thing I can say is I sure hope it's better than the last time we got Tribal Combat because it wasn't very good. That SummerSlam match last year was not very good at all. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, or Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. I was thinking Cody and Solo Sikoa had a match this year at SummerSlam, but that technically was Bloodline Rules, right? They called it Bloodline Rules. How does Bloodline Rules differ from Tribal Combat? Like the main event of WrestleMania 40 this year, night 2, with Roman and Cody, which was an excellent match, was Bloodline Rules. I don't know that there's much of a difference, though, between that and Tribal Combat, but I think Tribal Combat, I think of Jey Uso and Roman Reigns in that terrible match they had last year. Roman and Solo are going to have one of their own next month. Question is this where they pay off this part of the story, or is this only the next step? And Roman is going to have to continue to fight, scratch, and claw his way to get the Ula Fala back. Do they have something else planned for that show? We may have gotten a hint about what might happen in that match. There's something that happened on the show tonight. That match is now official. What else is official is the finals for the Women's United States Championship Tournament. They've been playing this tournament out now for several weeks. We now know what the finals are going to be. On Saturday night's main event tomorrow night, it is going to be a match that I would wager most people, when this tournament started and they looked at the bracket, they didn't have this as the finals of the tournament. But it actually makes sense because there's a history between these two. and it will benefit them more than it would a Bailey, or even a Naomi, or even a Tiffany Stratton, who has the Money in the Bank briefcase. But none of those people are going to be in the finals. We'll talk about what the match is actually going to be. Actually, the biggest surprise, may as well tell you, it's going to be Chelsea Green and Michin. But the biggest surprise of that is not even so much that Chelsea and Michin are going to the finals. As I talked about last week, I said it's either going to be Bailey and Tiffany or it's going to be Chelsea and Michin. It's going to be one or the other. Once Naomi got bounced, those are really the only two logical options. But what surprised me the most, Bailey lost, Tiffany lost, clean. Both women lost clean tonight. The Piper Niven did get involved, a few times in Chelsea's match, but I'm talking like in terms of the finish itself, as clean as you could possibly ask for. That was the most surprising part about those two matches. But also on this show, one thing that they were promoting since last week was a mystery opponent for Carmelo Hayes. Nick Aldis said he had somebody in mind. And all this hype around the fact that it was going to be a new superstar on the SmackDown roster. What do they mean by new? Is it a new person coming into the company? Is it a new person on SmackDown, which means it could just be somebody from Raw? Are we talking about somebody from NXT? A lot of speculation about who this person could be. Of course, people, they let their imaginations get better than that. You hear Penta's name mentioned in the news a lot of names being thrown around, NXT names. And if that's what you were banking on, then you were left very disappointed. I didn't mind it so much, the actual person it turned out to be, but I could see where a lot of people would look at that and go, really? That's it? That's what we waited all week for? I'll tell you what, the person that it ended up being didn't bother me so much. What bothered me is how they squash Carmelo Hayes. Your first round draft pick. Now he's been crowing about it for months, ever since the middle of the year. First round draft pick on SmackDown. Squash like a bug in the middle of the ring. And the only way that makes any sense at all is if he's leaving SmackDown and going to Monday Night Raw, which could very well happen because we are in the middle of this transfer period. So they can move people from one brand to the other, call up NXT stars. We had more teases of that, but nothing actually officially announced other than the person who showed up as Carmelo's opponent tonight. This show was not good. This was really not a good show. But we got plenty of promotion for Saturday night's main event. Oh my God. I'll tell you what, I'm ready for the show. I am done hearing about it. I just want it to take place already. I'm excited for it. I'm genuinely looking forward to the show tomorrow night. But my God, if I have to hear Michael Cole and Corey Graves talk about Saturday night's main event one more time, I'm going to fucking explode. The one thing you cannot say about this show, this is a go-home show, they promoted the hell out of that show tomorrow night. I don't know that anybody watching SmackDown doesn't know that Saturday night's main event is taking place tomorrow night. But this was most definitely Friday the 13th. It's my favorite day. So that would be a 5 o'clock start. SmackDown opened, though, with Big Jim. Jimmy Uso on one crutch, hobbling down to the ring with his broken toe from the dive that he did off the top of the cage. Maybe he'll win the U.S. title. Maybe he'll win the Undisputed Championship. That's not happening. But as he turned around, because that's really all he had to say, he turned around and he walked right into a Claymore kick from a waiting Drew McIntyre, who we didn't even know was standing there. Kicked him right in the face. And he started raining down blows upon him until officials ran down to the ring to get him to back off. And McIntyre laughed, all while Nick Aldis scolded him all the way to the back. I don't know if this was something that you guys noticed, but I noticed it. Crowd noise here. Very weird during this segment. And now they take 2 episodes of SmackDown tonight. So next week's episode is a tape show. Obviously, they're not going to tape anything in front of the live crowd that might spoil any of the results tomorrow night. but they did tape a show for next week. So technically, this show did not air live because they started the taping earlier. So it was technically taped. And you could tell because I don't know what it is when they tape the shows. Like, it shouldn't make a difference, not for the first one. But just, you watch it and the crowd, it was very quiet, but it was just very awkward. I don't even know how to describe it really, but it was the crowd audio. And you could tell, okay, this is on tape delay, but something's weird here. And not much of a promo from Jimmy, but I'll tell you one thing I am happy about. I'm happy to have Drew McIntyre back. He wasn't gone for very long, but he was gone for 2 months. 2 months. Look, McIntyre was one of those guys all year. There's two people I think of. When I look back at this year, and the year now is almost over, and I got a whole bunch of special shows over the next few weeks. We got to do, predictions for next year. We're going to do the year in review. We're going to do top matches of the year. We'll do that on New Year's Eve. But, as I look back on this year, and I look at Raw in particular, there's two names that stand out to me as the MVPs of that show at different points in the year. And for a good chunk of 2024, the MVP was Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre and his story, his feud with CM Punk, who wasn't there every week because he was hurt, but McIntyre was there week after. And the work that McIntyre put in, not just in the ring, but on promos and his character, was top shelf. I mean, this was really, it's kind of weird for me to call it a breakout year for him because he's not a rookie, he's not new. Okay, it's time to sink or swim, big boy, and he took full.
Welcome. Fucking information on Jade Cargill.
All right, now let's go into JD from New York. Let's see his review and see what he had to say for a while.
LE for WWE in the month of December, where there is no PLEs. Smackdown set the foundation for what is going to be a great show tomorrow night. If not for the in-ring action, just for the nostalgic feel that WWE is going to deliver on Saturday night. From the graphics, to the music, to the vignettes, to the promos, to the Winged Eagle WWF Championship belt coming back for one night only. Cody has been granted access for one night for the Winged Eagle. Jesse the Body Ventura, he's going to be on commentary all night. And from what we heard with Peter Rosenberg today, Jesse Ventura still has it. Whatever it is, Jesse's got it. He still sounds great, even in his 70s. And he's the most interesting and exciting part of the show if we are looking at the 2 hours that will be tomorrow night as a whole. To me, Jesse Ventura's inclusion on commentary is going to be the one thing that I am most excited about. Shaping up to be a banger show. I don't need to tell you, I will be live immediately after the show is over, and we will discuss everything that comes out of that show, everything that happens on that show tomorrow night, right here live on both YouTube and Twitch. But tonight, it was a very off show tonight, man. I don't know, I didn't really understand what was going on, but I tweeted out during the Bayley and Chelsea Green semifinal match for the Women's U.S. title tournament. I said, why does this show feel taped? It feels like a taped show. And then come to find out, you guys who are the IWC sleuths, I don't need to really think too hard about anything. I got an answer just like that. This show was on a slight tape delay. Apparently, this show was taped before it actually went live here at 8 p.m. Eastern in New York City. They just wrapped up, or basically were wrapping up, what was going on, and the show was on a tape delay. So the reason for that being is because this is a taped show. So next week is a full-on fledged taped show for Friday Night SmackDown because Triple H is giving everybody off for the holidays. And if it felt off to you, that is exactly why. It certainly felt off to me. It felt like the crowd was, at certain points, little pockets of silence and just kind of giving off that taped feel, that taped vibe. Even the commentary felt not live in the moment. You just kind of get a sense from watching this show, as long as we have, that it doesn't sound like a live episode of Friday Night SmackDown. So that was the case there. But next week's show is full-fledged taped. So if you guys want to avoid the spoilers, I would suggest staying off social media. It wasn't that big of a show tonight. I expected a lot more, being that it was the go-home show for Saturday night's main event, but everything's kind of in the bag already. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, they got their face-to-face. They won final face-to-face before the main event tomorrow night for the WWE Championship. Kevin Owens coming out wearing a Stardust t-shirt tonight. Gotta love his level of trolling. I know a lot of people are looking forward to Kevin Owens potentially winning the championship. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Kevin Owens wins the WWE Championship. Though if I had a choice in the matter, I would absolutely do that. I just love throwing a wrench into the fucking system sometimes. I feel like a shakeup or a little dash of chaos goes a long way, man. It makes the heart a little happier. Cody Rhodes, I do feel, will retain the championship tomorrow night. I do feel we will get Randy Orton returning. He will be back on WWE television after the dreaded pile driver that Kevin Owens gave him. And then I do think we will be off and running to Kevin Owens and Randy Orton potentially taking place on January 6th on Monday night's debut on Netflix. Monday Night Raw, that is. Monday Night Raw's debut on Netflix. So they did get their little shots in. I love the story so far. I'm very intrigued about where it's going. And we still don't know what either Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, and even Randy Orton are doing at WrestleMania. So a lot of answers should be given to us over the next 3 to 4 weeks as we head into that WrestleMania-like Monday Night Raw on January 6th. But I did enjoy what they did tonight. Kevin Owens stood tall, which doesn't really bode well for Kevin Owens going into the PLE tomorrow, because normally when you are standing tall with the WWE Championship on the go-home show, it means that you will not be standing tall and that you would be laying on your back getting that beautiful 3-second 10 at the pay-per-view. Cody Rhodes will retain the WWE Championship, and I do think we see Randy Orton. The other big story that happened tonight was Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre showed up on Friday night unannounced. He was not given clearance to show up at all. He just randomly shows up where he wants to. This was after a obviously worked shoot promo that happened at Busted Open Radio's holiday party in New York City yesterday. Drew McIntyre had sat down between Dave LaGreca and Bully Ray. He was also there with Tommy Dreamer. And he cut this very impassioned promo about how the wrestling business has taken more than it has given him, and how he had to deal with the death of his mother, and how he's had to deal with the death of other family members, and how a lot of people, a lot of marks on social media go out there and criticize and just do what they do on social media. And he ended by walking out saying, I don't give a shit what anybody here or on social media has to say about me or to me. And he stormed off and left the studios. Now, clearly, this is playing into his character that we are seeing play out on television since he returned 2 weeks ago. But Drew McIntyre is on his way once again to being one of the more interesting aspects of WWE television. If Drew McIntyre is not getting any vote for Pro Wrestler of the Year, I don't know what we're doing. Now, you could look at a Will Ospreay or
And what happened when
somebody
you
of that nature,
the final?
and you
Well,
may
just
be
because the
saying,
show's
well,
over,
Will
that doesn't
Ospreay
mean the
obviously
show's
has
done.
him
Well,
beat
don't
as
give
far
a
as an
fuck.
in-ring capacity. That's
Well,
great.
just because the show's over, that
On
doesn't
any
mean the
given
show's
night,
done.
I'll take Will Ospreay over Drew McIntyre as far as what they do in the ring. Will Ospreay is the best pro wrestler on the planet. But we have learned this year, and hopefully you guys have, that it takes more than great pro wrestling to get the job done. You gotta be emotionally invested.
Well, just
And
because
I
the show's
feel
over,
if you
that
want to
doesn't
talk
mean
about best
when
pro
you
wrestler of
actually after WrestleMania,
2024,
that's
you
when
could cite
the
your
new era.
Ospreys, you could cite your
Because he took
Gunthers,
the new era.
you could say anybody that you want as far as an in-ring aspect. If Drew McIntyre isn't at the top of your discussion, you're doing it all
Well,
wrong, man.
just because the show's over, that
You're
doesn't mean
doing
the
it
show's
all
done.
wrong.
Well, just
The
because
guy
the
is
show's
great.
over, that doesn't mean the show's done.
He has been great for a very long time. He's just now, believe it or not, he's just now coming into his own. It's amazing.
Oh my god.
It's like a fine bottle of wine aged over many, many, many years. Drew McIntyre showed up tonight and blasted Jimmy Uso, who hobbled out on a singular crutch because of a broken foot that he suffered at War Games. Claymore kick right to the face. Drew McIntyre is obviously targeting everybody that has either teamed with Roman Reigns or CM Punk. But it looks like Roman Reigns, the bloodline, may be the target, which I would not mind at all. Who's to say he's not going to go after CM Punk? He did mention on Monday that at least Punk bargained for his spot in the War Games match. He didn't willingly do it because he wanted to help Roman Reigns. He basically sought something for himself, and that was the only reason why he was there, because he would be paid or repaid by Paul Heyman at a later date. But it looks like he's targeting the bloodline. Jey Uso got taken out. Jimmy Uso got taken out. And Sammy's going to get taken out tomorrow, because there's no way on fucking planet Earth that Sami Zayn's beating Drew McIntyre tomorrow at the Nassau Coliseum. Now, I don't know what's going to be done here. Is he going to show up on SmackDown more often? Are we moving Drew McIntyre over to SmackDown? I called for something like this to happen in the weeks leading to Hell in a Cell with CM Punk. So him being on Friday Night SmackDown, A-OK in my book, bro. I think that's a great move. Especially if he's going to be taking on all the bloodline. Maybe he can find some common ground with Kevin Owens. Maybe we move Seth Rollins over there. Maybe we find some common ground with Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, and Randy, and Seth Rollins. And then add Randy Orton to the mix, maybe. Imagine that, a collective force of Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Randy Orton.
Drew McIntyre. I'm like,
I don't know where they're going, man.
shit.
But they all seemingly have the same problem. Not Randy Orton yet, but they all seemingly have the same problem. Kevin Owens can't stand Roman Reigns. Can't stand anybody that has helped Roman Reigns. Drew McIntyre's now got the same problem. Seth Rollins doesn't like Roman Reigns. He's got that problem because CM Punk teams with Roman Reigns. We're starting to follow a very familiar pattern here, man. Again, he's making himself into the most interesting man in all of WWE, so kudos to him. He may not give a shit what I have to say, but he's probably doing the best work of his entire life. I'm sure he knows that. And if you ain't putting Drew McIntyre at the top of your best of 2024 lists, you're doing something wrong. The Women's United States Championship. That was also decided tonight. Who will be wrestling for the first ever Women's United States Championship? A lot of people predicted Bayley. I did. A lot of us were made to look like fools because that is not the case. Tiffany Stratton and Bayley both lost tonight. It is Michin versus Chelsea Green tomorrow night at Saturday night's main event. And those women will be battling it out for the first ever Women's United States Championship. And Carmelo Hayes, with all the rumors of Pentagon Jr. coming on into WWE, and Ethan Page getting called up from NXT. It ended up being a returning Braun Strowman, who squashed Carmelo Hayes in 90 seconds. If that doesn't tell you that Carmelo Hayes is going to Monday night, I don't know what does. We will talk about it and so much more right here on today's Smackdown post right here on Off the Script. Thank you guys for a tremendous week. As I look at the calendar and I look at the content calendar here for the month of December, we have uploaded 13 straight days for calling the guy a clueless hack. It's in the comment section. Every comment helps us. How does it feel to be Jimmy knowing that he'll never be as over or anywhere close to being as over as Jey Uso? War Games didn't get Big Jim, but it got my big toe. Out on top, he said, War Games is behind the... All this immediately starts yelling at Drew McIntyre. But he's not the most important character that we're getting right now on television as far as the bloodline is concerned. Drew McIntyre, I love these random attacks. I think they're great. He attacked Jimmy Uso. Obviously, he's got Sami Zayn at Saturday night's main event. He's going to absolutely crucify Sami Zayn tomorrow night, which I love Sami, but Sami's not getting the W. And then he took out Jimmy tonight. So clearly he's targeting the bloodline. I'll reserve judgment on CM Punk. I know CM Punk teamed with the bloodline. I think that's kind of over and done with for now. We could always revisit it at some point. But I think he's still targeting all of the bloodline. And that stems from 2 years ago when he got fucked over by Solo Sikoa and fucked over by the bloodline. He never let that go. And he shouldn't let it go. If it's important enough to him, he's going to do something about it. So the fact of the matter is he's targeting and going after everybody that is teamed with Roman Reigns. Everybody has this problem with Roman Reigns. Roman's been a thorn in everybody's side for a better part of 4 years. And we're starting to see multiple stories play out on television. Kevin Owens has a problem with Roman Reigns because Cody Rhodes teamed with Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins has a problem with CM Punk. He had a problem with Roman Reigns before that and did not want to team with CM Punk. And now he's upset that both Sami Zayn and CM Punk teamed with Roman Reigns. So we have Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins upset over people that surrounded them who teamed with Roman Reigns. And now we have Drew McIntyre, who always had a problem with Roman Reigns, stemming from the Clash at the Castle show that we got in Glasgow. And he's now targeting Roman Reigns.
And Carter.
Clearly, he's going after Roman Reigns. Or everybody that has teamed or helped or tried to help Roman Reigns. Then he will eventually go after Roman. I don't know. A lot of similarities in characters here. They all got the same similar trait.
You're gonna blame
they
me.
all don't like
You're
Roman.
gonna blame me. It's
Which
not,
begs the
it's
question.
not my fault that I beat you.
Is Seth
You
Rollins
should be
being
blaming
moved
Solo.
over to Friday
Solo
Night
the one that
SmackDown?
screwed you over, not me.
Are we
Sure,
going
I
to
may have
shift
beat
Rollins
you,
over
but
Friday
Solo
night?
the one that screwed you over.
McIntyre
You
seemingly
have a
may end up
problem
over there.
with
Kevin
Solo
Owens is
Sikoa,
already
more
over
than
here. Could we potentially see
should be
all
blaming
three of
yourself.
these men work their way into a group? Or not a group officially, but just based off the common logic that they all have together, put their strengths and their energies together to take out the OG bloodline. Because after everything that happens with Solo Sikoa and Roman gets his Ulafala back, he will have put that bloodline to the side. I do feel like we may be on the verge of having the OG bloodline and their first major test. And that is everybody basically coming after Roman. Roman's past is going to end up haunting him. I like that. I like that. And it makes sense. Now, I don't know what that means for WrestleMania. I don't. But I like where they're going. Or at least I like the direction, possibly, of where they're going. So he showed up, he claymored the shit out of Jimmy Uso, loved it. People really popped for it. Comes out of nowhere. And it's just a great move to see executed, especially when it's done and you're not expecting it. Great stuff. Backstage, Tiffany Stratton was warming up with a resistance band when in walks Nia Jax and attack. All this now tells Bianca that the investigation is still ongoing and they don't really have a conclusion yet. He says he thinks they have to relinquish the tag team titles now because Jade Cargill is obviously not coming back anytime soon. Now, Bianca didn't like that news at all. Bianca does not want to give up the tag team championships at all. The fact of the matter is, I don't want to sit here and tell you that Bianca is innocent in this situation. She still very well could be a culprit in who attacked Jade Cargill. Just because of the way she acted. Now, she didn't want to do what Nick Aldis suggested. She did not want to be stripped. She did not want to hand over those championships. Naomi said Belair has never relinquished anything in her career. But Belair was like, yes, 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 yes. Almost in a very begging type manner. Now, does that mean that Bianca is the culprit here? No. They want you to think that Bianca could have done it. Bianca did not want to relinquish the tag team titles, so she would look at anybody to basically say, yes, 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 I like that idea, let's do it. If Naomi wasn't there, if it was Bayley, I'm sure she would have said yes. If it was anybody else, she would have said yes. But in this moment, it was obviously Naomi because they're besties. So I don't want to eliminate Bianca from the discussion, even though a lot of people might not think it makes sense. I do think that they could work it in to make sense. And I'm keeping her at quarterfinal match, I would say, that she had. She did not advance to the semifinals. No United States Championship for her, but all of a sudden she interjects and throws herself into a tag team with Bianca Belair and on a tag team and acting as the tag team champion when they haven't done anything. I mean, that's kind of heelish behavior. Kind of feels like, kind of looks like, kind of sounds like somebody who would eliminate one half of the tag team just to reap the benefits with Bianca Belair. I don't know. Again, I don't want to say flat out it's Naomi. It would have made sense. It would have made sense if Naomi had lost first and then we got Jade getting taken out. It would have made a lot more sense. But this all happened in Bianca's match. She had the first quarterfinal match of the tournament. This happened with Bianca a couple of weeks ago. I think it would have made a little bit more sense if Naomi lost and then she took out, kind of, or then I wouldn't say she took out, but then Jade got taken out. And it could have been like, oh man, she lost and then took out Jade and now she's on the team. It's like, maybe they don't want you to think it's Naomi, but it ends up being Naomi anyway. That's the only logical answer I have to why they did it kind of backwards. Maybe it's not Naomi or Bianca. Maybe it's somebody that we're not even thinking of. No idea. Maybe it's somebody from NXT. Mike Johnson says, well, typically they don't put a worked storyline or a competitor who's in a work storyline and absolutely zero fucking information on Jade Cargill. We don't know where she got injured. We don't know what is injured. We don't know if she's injured. And if she is, why didn't we get a medical diagnosis? Why didn't we get WWE.com updates? Why didn't we get what the injury was, where she's going, how long she's going to be out, did she get surgery? We got none of these answers. I am going with work. Jade Cargill is not hurt. WWE could obviously be playing everybody. Oh, they don't put anybody on the injury list internally. Well, maybe they did. Because they want to make you look like a fool. They want to work you. And I would love that. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. It could be Bailey as well.
Yeah.
Can eliminate Bailey. I even said maybe Bailey turns back heel because I think Bailey was a better heel than she was a babyface. This babyface run ain't working out. It ain't. Bailey is boring. Bianca, Naomi, or Bailey. Those are the top three. Tiffany Stratton. One-on-one with Michin, United States champion. Tiffany Stratton came out. She looked like we get that. I'm actually kind of surprised they went with the way people wanted, but I'm surprised they didn't go with the more star-studded United, especially in the way of Motor City Machine Guns. Gano said after all they Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman together in the middle of nowhere. Roman says it's been a rough year and everything is falling apart for him, his family, and it all started in the spring and on into the summer. Clip right of Cody pinning him at WrestleMania. So he lost his title and his wise man, and then he lost his bloodline. Most importantly, I lost my Ulafala. He says he didn't take the Ulafala. He earned the Ulafala. He was chosen to be the leader of his family. He says his father and his uncle handed the Ulafala over to him. He earned it. He says it's a responsibility only he can handle. He then challenged Solo Sikoa for the Ulafala to a tribal chief versus tribal chief tribal combat match on the January 6th episode of Monday Night Raw, the debut on Netflix. He says he'll take back his Ulafala on January 6th. He says he'll take back his respect. Heyman was smiling in the background. He said after he wins, the whole world will have no choice but to acknowledge him. This is the right move to make. We called it a few weeks ago. Called it on the road to Survivor Series. Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns, January 6th, Ulafala. Who is the real tribal chief? This show is going to be massive on January 6th. Triple H says they are treating it like a WrestleMania. And this is certainly adding to that statement. Now, I'm glad it's not actually happening at WrestleMania. I think that would have been lame. This is not a WrestleMania match. This is certainly something that fits the bill for Monday Night Raw on January 6th in Los Angeles. Great. What this also means is that low-key WWE is setting up Roman's road to WrestleMania. We don't know what his road to WrestleMania is going to be. We don't. Roman Reigns is going to get the Ulafala back. And for everybody who believe these fucking reports, oh, Rock is not going to factor into WrestleMania plans. Oh, Rock is not going to be at WrestleMania. Do you genuinely believe The Rock is not going to be a part of the biggest WrestleMania of all time? Give me a break. WrestleMania 40 was the biggest WrestleMania of all time. WrestleMania 41, they will make sure that it's the biggest WrestleMania of all time, and that doesn't happen without The Rock. The Rock is going to be in Los Angeles. The Rock is going to be on Monday Night Raw, January 6th, debut on Netflix. The Rock will be, in some way, shape, or form, either before or after this match, confronting Roman Reigns. As soon as Roman wins the Ulafala, something will be done. Maybe something is not done. Maybe he's not there for Roman. Maybe he's there for Cody. But he could always seek out Cody. I think he's got a problem, or should have a problem, with what Roman Reigns is doing and what the family's doing first before he goes and attends to business with Cody. But the fact that this match is happening on January 6th, that makes it a major match. This is officially the first match that they have announced for Monday Night Raw. The rumor was, if you guys watched the content this week, WWE is rumored to be also doing CM Punk versus Seth Rollins on that Monday Night Raw. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the case. That is a WrestleMania match that they have been planning. That's a WrestleMania match that was planned last year. But they may be doing that as the main event for the Monday Night Raw show on January 6th. Nothing else has been even talked about. I would assume John Cena is going to be there. I would assume John Cena may be wrestling on that show. We may get Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens on that show. I mean, we're shaping up to have this be the biggest Monday Night Raw in the history of Monday Night Raw. And I'm glad that they announced this match tonight. And for the Ulafala.
That's where it's starting. It's the
Legado
story.
del Fantasma. They confronted Nick Aldis backstage. Santos Escobar. Not much happened here. Bell rang. Cole said Braun is the first to switch brands in the transfer window. And has moved from Raw. Took out Solo Sikoa. They all stood tall. Solo, Fatu, and Tamatonga all stood tall. All the baby faces are laying on the mat. Thanks for coming. I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this, but the only thing that matters here is Solo and Roman Reigns, the Ulafala. Monday night, January 6th, for the Ulafala Tribal Combat.
Can't wait.
Braun Strowman. He was walking through the backstage area where he ran into Pretty Dead. Deadly. As far as I'm concerned, they are dead. They are absolutely D-E-A-D, brother.
Yeah.
Dead. Deadly. Okay.
Yeah.
Want to make sure. Strowman was shown backstage with Pretty Dead. Asking for a friend. Do we really need to see that next week? Now, what are we doing with Austin Theory? What are we doing with Grayson Waller? What are we doing with Braun Strowman? Transfer window's open. He's the first guy to come over from Raw to Smack, and he's already a fucking talking segment. Talk show segment. Sounds like next week's show is going to be quite the missable show, folks. Chelsea Green. She went one-on-one with Bayley. Final, semi-final match. Chelsea Green is going to become the first ever Women's United States champion.
Yes, he will.
And I would be lying if I told you guys she did not deserve it. She absolutely does.
Yeah.
Chelsea Green's worked her ass off. She's put herself in position to get organically over. The crowd did pop when she did win this match. They could not give a shit about the actual match, but they did pop in Hartford for her winning and beating Bayley. She worked her ass off. She got herself over organically, naturally. People just sort of gravitated to her. Her character work has been great. The dumpster match really showed a lot of that charisma, a lot of that attitude. WWE's rewarding her. I will never shy away from seeing somebody work their ass off and then get rewarded for it. The only thing is Chelsea going to be a long-term, hey man, let's make this championship feel important? This is why I ask. And this is just a minor criticism. Is Chelsea the right woman for the job? Right now, I don't know. This is why I figured they would go with Bailey or someone like that, and Naomi. Establish the championship with somebody who's been there before, instead of giving it to someone that hasn't been a champion at all in WWE. Give it to a star that's already established themselves, build credibility for the title, and then drop it to somebody like Chelsea Green after you've done a little bit with it. It's the one that makes the title. It's not the title that makes the person. This is obvious. Chelsea going to be enough to make that championship feel important? Or better yet, is WWE going to book Chelsea in a manner in which she does feel important? Now, Chelsea's known for comedy and joking around and
We did get Chelsea
having
Green tonight, man.
that
This man
comedic
went 2 minutes.
effect to
This man
everything
went
that
2
she
minutes.
does.
I don't like
We've
these
seen
2
a
minute
little bit
marathon
less of that
reviews.
lately, but that's who she is. She's a jokester. Is she going to be enough to make that
This man played
championship
5 minutes
mean
and the crowd
something?
didn't care. That ain't the matter.
We got to get a little serious at this point.
5 minutes on the
If that's the
pay-per-view is
case.
not good, by the way.
I want to
5
see a little
minutes
bit
on the
less of that. I want to
Because
see
go back
less
to the
and less of
Divas
that.
era when the matches were 5
That's the
minutes.
only thing that I'm worried about. Other than that, you can't knock her work ethic and you can't knock how great she's been this year. She will be the Women's United States champion.
Out of the Judgment Day, and Dom takes over as the leader. And you got Dom and Liv.
He'd find out why he's the teacher and Gargano is the student.
Well, probably should end the video. I think I made it long enough. Just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments if y'all want to see more. I will do a live stream for Saturday night main event tomorrow night. I will watch the show and I will do my review. We'll see what happens on that pay-per-view. Until that time, this is Jacob Cast 2024. I'll see y'all next time. I'll see y'all later.
What's their mission statement?